Willpower is the key to success. Successful people strive no matter what they feel by applying their will to overcome apathy, doubt, or fear. Dan Millman. My friends, doesn't matter what you feel. Doesn't matter how good you think you are, how bad you think you are, that you're making no progress. You just keep pushing forward day after day, and before you know it, you will start seeing the patterns. You will develop the proper skills. You'll finally hear what's being taught, because sometimes we have to learn lessons over and over again. You have to spend the time. When I was learning to ski at a high level many years ago, I was out west in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I love to go ski. For 30-something years, I've been doing that as much as I can in the winter. And I had a great instructor. And I was trying to learn some advanced techniques, skiing bumps and things like that. And my instructor said one word. He said, just one word you got to remember. He says, because you're getting there, but it's going to take time. And he said, the word you got to remember is mileage. You just got to get more mileage in. You just have to keep practicing, and you'll get better. You can't rush everything. You've just got to get that mileage in. Same here, my friends. Don't get frustrated. It doesn't cost you anything to practice except 10 to 15 minutes a day. Set up your charts. Use these charts. Pay attention to what we say. Take the trainings. Take them again. When you sit and listen to the recordings, to the videos, like the one today that's going to be in your show notes, and it is a good one. Let me scan through here. I'll tell you what it is, because I can't remember it. I know what it is. It's supercharge your training with Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. Understanding how to use the volume along with the candlesticks to understand what's going on, what the insiders, the market makers, the big banks, the dark money, what it's up to. You can apply what you know with the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks to how you use the volume, to how you use the trend lines, to be able to figure out what's going on, and time again, scoop out that profit. Now, it'll first be in practice trades. It may take you a while. It may take you a long while. But once you master the markets, you'll more than make up for all the time you ever spent. But you've got to put the time in, and it doesn't matter how you feel. You just push forward. Let's jump into these charts. Everything down for the day. We look at the S&P 500. What do we see here? Well, perhaps it is tapping out. Let's blow that up and look at this weekly. We can see where the weekly chart now we had average volume the prior 2 weeks with spinning tops, which of course can mean what? The insiders are devolving their positions. They are getting out, selling to folks that think the market's going to keep moving higher. Then we have this week, a little bit lower than average volume. We have a very, very tiny candle. And you can see back here where we had higher candles, bigger candles with higher volume. In fact, a much larger candle with lower volume. So as we look, could this mean the S&P's coming to an end? Well, if we look back in time, we see a telltale sign where that's happened in the past. And again, I like to look back in time and see what we learn from similar kind of candles, particularly after moves up. You can see this happening previously. Now, does it mean that it's absolutely happening now? No, it doesn't. But it does mean we're going to be paying close attention to what color the candle develops over this last week. Could just be the market's moved up and it's going to gather some energy and pop up again. But do you see the market doing that? Look at this. Do you see the market going up, sliding sideways, and then jamming up again? Because I don't see that happening. I see one here, but then you know what it does? It tries to pop up and then it just rolls back over. So, I don't really see that, friends. Don't see that happening so much. Here's one. We got some red, slides sideways and pops up. We've got some red candles in there, so that could be a fake out coming, and it could be getting ready to move back up, but probably not that likely. So what do? We keep our eyes open. We pay attention to what's going on with the volume this next week, the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, the trend lines, and we see if we have the S&P roll over. Don't know that it's going to. Down for the day on Friday, 0.13%, but it could. Let's look at the Qs, down 0.36%. Now, it has slid sideways, but continues to just sort of track up. Volume, a little less this week with some increase in price. So what's it doing? Don't know. Maybe it's getting ready to continue to move up. Maybe it's wearing out too. We can see on the 2-day chart. And again, this is the first day of the latest 2-day candle as it continues to try to move up. We can see where we hit a higher high in the morning, and then things sort of rolled over on that half-day chart in the afternoon, leading to that down move. But the NASDAQ 100 not in the same position as the S&P 500. So again, we'll pay close attention to where stocks develop over the course of this next week. Bonds down 0.84%. Now again, bonds have been in, they bounced off, as they've done several times, what we found to be a ceiling on this weekly chart. And again, had a bigger down week back on the 17th. Then sort of a spinning top week, not moving higher as far as a candlestick goes than last week. That was starting May the 1st. Things started moving down. And of course, this week on down. So again, we're paying attention. We're looking at where we are on the 2-day chart and on the half-day. And you can see where the half-day chart moved up to the weekly trend line. And then this afternoon, Friday afternoon, came off it. Again, not being able to penetrate it on the 2-day. So we use this weekly trend line to help us see how strong the other charts are and penetrations there and how much things are likely to resort to the mean. That is, all things being equal, markets tend to move in what direction? The direction of the largest chart, which is the weekly. It's the strongest chart. It's the biggest tide. It's the biggest wave. So that's what we pay most attention to. So we'll be looking to see if bonds keep moving down next week. Gold down a little bit for the day, 0.17%. You can see where gold has backtracked the last 2 days, but again, still above the weekly trend line. Half day, first day of the latest 2-day candle. Half of that candle's been drawn, showing a little bit of red there. Again, didn't hit the higher high of last week, but again, green up candle trying to move up. We'll watch gold, pay attention, see if it's topped out or if it's going to gain a little momentum. I'm guessing it's probably topping, but I can't tell that for sure. We'll wait, watch, and see. What do we see going on with Bitcoin? Well, I'm hoping Bitcoin's going to move down for a little while. Why? Because you can see how it petered out and then this week down. I want Bitcoin to start setting up a chart that we can follow better. If you guys remember a year and a half or so ago when we could track Bitcoin and actually practice trade it, well, it's been a sloppy chart as of late, and it's not giving us that ability. I'm waiting for that to come back down for the day, 1.28%. So want to see Bitcoin retrace, then give us a clean move back up when it's ready to do it. Remember, the only thing we care about charts is if they're chartable. We don't want to gamble. We don't want to guess, just throw a dart at a board. We want candlesticks that are reliable. We want flow, and I keep showing you how beautiful, for the most part, the S&P 500 is in flow. Look at that. Red to green to red to green. And again, that's beautiful. Using your ATR, one ATR on your 2-day chart to set your loss limit when you jump into a trade. And you can use either 1 or 2 ATRs on this 2-day chart to set your profit limit. If you use 1 ATR, sell half your position. Just practice this. Sell half your position, let the rest ride until the candlesticks, the trend lines, the charts, whatever it is, takes you out based upon the way you've set up your out position. Again, none of this is rocket science, but it does take practice. I'd love to hear from you, cw@chartingwealth.com. We're always here for you. Patreon members, thank you so much for helping underwrite the cost of this channel. Remember, folks, the things you support tend to stay around. If you get a lot from what we do, then consider jumping into one of the 3 areas that we have for support on our Patreon page. You get lots of great stuff. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.